Hey, Jody.
Hey, Dr. Stedman.
How are you doing? Can you hear me?
I can for a change.
Yes, yes.
Yes, I can
Yes.
hang up my phone now because I was calling in with my phone as well.
Okay. Hey, Rory.
Hi, Rory. Peace sign.
Hey,
Hey, Dr. Stedman.
hey, Rory.
How are you?
I'm doing tired. It's been a long day. I have just left a meeting. It's been like this about all week long, but whew. Then I've got to teach in Gardner for Gardner Webb in Goldsboro this weekend with a doctoral group. So I won't see any break until Sunday night about 7 o'clock when I get home. So I'll crash then.
Wow.
Anyway, so it's all good though.
Oh, man.
It's all good. So
Okay.
but Dr. Lamb will join us in just a few minutes, and some of the questions that you guys had about task 5, all that's going to be cleared up tonight. Task 5 is going to be the easiest of all of them, so nothing to worry about.
Thank God there is a God.
Rory, with all those ladies, you don't have a chance sometime, do you?
We love Rory.
I know.
I calm them all down.
I
don't respond to their 11 o'clock p.m. text, so that's too much for me.
That's all right. I've learned over the years, sometimes I just say yes ma'am and I move on.
That's for sure. Hold on a sec.
Let's see. Let me go ahead and change this up here. Oh, here it is. Okay, there, gallery view. Okay. So everybody's going to be joining in a few minutes. Okay. Okay, Rory, I don't know why you're on the full screen.
Oh.
I don't know what's happening, but
should I get off? Should I log back? Should I log out? Log back
Dr.
in?
Lamb, why is Rory on the full screen?
He's the last one that logged in.
Oh, okay. Is that what it is? Okay. Now you're on the full screen, Dr. Lamb.
That's correct.
Okay. 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 Okay, Dr. Lamb, I've already done what I need to do to make you host, so we can talk.
Good.
All
right, we still got about 5 minutes.
Yeah, I knew. I wanted to make sure. I'm not at home, so I needed to make sure that I could get everything up and about. I just left a meeting after a long day, and I had to borrow a place that I had internet access, so I could go ahead with the meeting.
All right. Okay.
Dr. Lamb, you got that little suggested things to discuss I sent yesterday,
do.
right? Okay, got
I
you.
do.
Okay.
I even printed it out.
I did too.
It's almost like I do this for a living.
I know it.
Henry, are you there?
Yes, sir, I am.
I saw on Yahoo that Dabo is going back to Alabama for the 25-year reunion of the national championship.
Yes, sir.
You know that's his next gig, don't you?
No, don't start. Don't start.
No,
It's too early.
And Clemson won't be able to play dead again when he leaves. You know that, don't you?
You know, I don't know why you got to start. You know, can we have a moment? Can we have 1 year where we just enjoy it?
No. No, I heard that they had a little fire broke out on the campus today at Clemson in the library. I heard that it burned up both of their books, and one of them hadn't even been colored in.
Oh man.
I hate that for y'all.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate it.
You said the right thing. I wouldn't say any more because I've been around him long enough to know you're not going to win.
And I don't want to egg it on, so you know, just
Oh. Yeah. Not me.
Dr. Lamb, I surely hope people join in tonight. This is an important meeting.
Well, all we can do is ask.
I will put it out like I've always put it out, but sometimes it's better when you can hear it like we're doing it right now. So,
All right,
it's
you got the record
recording.
button.
It's recording. Yes.
All right, it's 7 o'clock.
Get started.
Thank
Yeah.
all of you for joining us. Emily's with us, and so I want to clarify for Emily, the bane of my existence. Please remember that Dr. Stedman does all the pacing. I do content, he does pacing.
Are you throwing me under the bus?
No.
Oh, okay.
What I'm referring to is you're in charge of this activity.
Oh, okay.
I'm just along for the ride.
I think he was throwing me under the bus.
No,
Okay.
no, neither one of you. I'm throwing myself under the bus.
Okay.
I'm in the back of the bus.
Okay.
But it's a good reminder for all of us, because the first thing we want to talk about tonight is pacing. That's the first thing on Dr. Stedman's list. Look where the students are with tasks through one through 4 in terms of pacing. Where are you? And that's Dr. Stedman's job, is to keep after you and send you reminders and keep you on pacing. And I appreciate that 1,000%. I'm not being facetious, because
Right.
the most important thing in the add-on program is pacing. If you get behind, I'm telling you, you can see, folks, it doesn't ease up. You're not gonna catch up later on. There's not gonna be like a break where you can catch up. I know that in the past, we built 2 breaks into the program to catch up. And students said, well, we'd like to have the option just to go straight through. And so that's what we've done. And so we don't have those dark semesters, as we used to call them, where you didn't have to take a class and you got to catch up on all your work. We're not doing that with you folks. We expect to do fall, spring, summer and be done. So you have to stay on your pacing. And that's what Dr. Stedman does. And he's the best in the business at keeping after you, seeing where you are with your work, keeping you on your deadlines and doing all that stuff. My role in this is just to be the content expert. And so I can tell you what you're missing and if your work is good and what you need to add and those kinds of things. I do content. Part of what you do as on your peer reviews is that's kind of APA, syntax, format, that kind of thing, to make sure it looks like a professional paper. I do the content, and Dr. Stedman does the paper. So don't think that he's just aggravating you for no reason. He's doing a great job trying to keep you on the pacing track. You
And I'm not going to stop.
No.
So they might as well get used to it.
Yeah, that's the truth. And so, where you should be completing task 4 this week of the app cell. He's already shared with you the template that I made for you in terms of the content of the app cell, and I'm going to go over that again in just a minute. And so starting next week, no, you don't get a fall break. You need to be working on task 5 next week, and that's writing your competencies. Now, I gave you this template. Some of these are a little bit longer than others, but I gave you this template. Don't write War and Peace. As I texted Emily this afternoon, if it takes you more than 2 hours to do this, you're spending too much time. You haven't done the work, and you're spending too much time. If you've done the work, you'll know exactly what to write there. You don't have to do references or any of that kind of stuff or relate it back to an artifact. Remember, you're putting your artifacts in the competency folio, the proof of these things. You're just telling us what you did here. And you're going to copy and paste this into your competency analysis. So, we're going to do double duty with these. And so not only are they going to become task 5, they're also going to be the basis for what you put into your competency analysis in your DRF portfolio and task stream. You're just going to do a simple copy and paste, and I'm going to show you that in just a minute. So I'm going to go ahead and copy one now, so I will have it.
Dr. Lamb,
Yeah.
while with task 5, all they really need to do is to have some type of introduction to what the task is, and then begin looking at the competencies that they're going to talk about. Am I right?
That's it.
That's all you're doing. And you may have, with what when you put it in there, you may actually have artifacts to go along with that. It could be, Dr. Lamb talked about this before, pictures. It could be an agenda. There's artifacts that go with these to further validate what you're doing.
And those go in your competency folio.
Right.
And the narrative goes here in task 5 and also in competency analysis. So when you get to your competency folio, all you have to tell us is this came from this activity. Boom, here it is. There's the picture. There's the screenshot. So some students take and copy and paste these narratives there as well. I don't require that. It's not a bad idea, but you do have to copy and paste them into your competency analysis. Now, Emily did ask a good question this afternoon. How many this semester? Well, you got to do all 21, but you'll do the 8 required from the scale handbook for the app cell, plus you get to choose 4 more, and then you do the others. The other 9 come from the app cell later on this semester.
Okay, Dr. Lamb, say that one more time again.
8 that are required in the scale handbook. You got to do those 8 required ones.
So in the handbook, it actually tells them which 8 they're supposed to do. Am I right?
That's correct.
And then you choose 4 more plus those 8.
Now, the smart candidate will go to the scale handbook and look and see which ones are required for the app cell and apptel, check them off on the list, and then pick the ones that aren't required in those 2 as their optional ones. That's what the smart candidate will do. So by the end of the app cell, you should have done 12. You will do the other 9 during the app cell. You will take and write a sentence as to where it came from, and you will put an artifact from that activity in the competency folio. You will write it up here in task 5. You'll also copy and paste this into that area in the competency analysis when you rate yourself, how well you did. So I'm going to go ahead and show you that right now. So you saw I just copied communication. I'm going to switch over to task stream. I'm going to do a resume share here. All right. So when you go to your DRF portfolio, spring, no, I want to go to fall. Here we go. Fall 17 add-on, that's you. I'm going in like I'm a student now. And you can see where you put your app cell. You can see where you put your app tail when it's all completed. Competency analysis, you click on that one. This is like the last week of the semester. View, edit your responses. All right. You can see what I'm talking about here. There's a place for you, the same thing that you wrote in task 5. Let me find communication here. There we go. I met that one. There it is. Just that simple. I just copied it right out of task 5, what I wrote in task 5 for communication. I just copied it and pasted it right in the box, clicked on it, and that one's good to go. I have finished that one. And so at the end of the semester, you will have something either through the app cell, the 12 that you did there, or the 9 that you did in the app tail. You'll have a narrative for each one of these. You click on that, copy and paste that narrative right in that box. You're good to go. You get to the end, you just do a save and return, and then submit work when you have all 21 of them done. Now don't submit, you can just save and return and come out until you get them all in there. But once you have all 21 in there, you just hit submit work, and then I'll go in and look at them, and it's just pass, fail, and you'll be good to go. That's all you have to do on competency analysis is what you did in task 5 of the app cell and task 4 of the app tail. When you wrote your competencies, there's a place for them here in competency analysis. You're good to go. Don't do anything extra. Don't spend more than 2 hours on the 12 for the app cell. We're not looking for war and peace. I've given you an example of what we're looking for in that template. Went ahead and put those in there to begin with. Put your app cell and your app tail here for final grading. And also at any time now, you can do your School of Ed dispositions. I'm not expecting any narrative there. Just rate yourself where you are in those 6 areas of your dispositional characteristics. Just do that now. You don't have to put any narrative or any supporting evidence in there. So when you click on School of Ed dispositions, again, complete this form. All you have to do is tell me where you are now. You don't have to see, there's nothing to write. All you have to do is tell me where you are. On learner development, I think I need expectations, or I think I need improvement. This is a self-assessment for you. And when you get through with it, again, you save and return, and you've done all 6 of them. You just hit the submit button. You can do that anytime now. But please do not submit your competency analysis until all 21 of them are done. So everybody should be clear. We should be finishing task 4 this week, starting to write task 5. We simply write our competencies based on the example that I gave you in the template. We copy and paste those into our competency analysis here in the DRF portfolio. We save and return it. We'll revisit it later when we have the other 9 that we do during the app tail. And then when we get all 21 in, we'll simply click on it and submit it. We can do our School of Ed dispositions anytime. When you get your app cell completed, all together and done the correct way, you will put it here, and then you'll put your app tail right here. And then the only thing you'll have left is your competency folio. So you should have already set it up. If not, I'll send you a video on the competency folio and web pages. It's going to ask me, no, I'll submit later. Now I'm going to go to the folios and web pages, and you should have already set up your competency folio. I've set mine up. And so you simply click on communication. Now, I could go in here. I could go in and I could put attachments. I'll just go to attach something here. I could put the narrative from my competencies, but I prefer you just put this competency proof came from, or this competency artifact came from, where it came from. You see, I've uploaded one here. Upload from computer. You've got it saved to your hard drive on your computer or a stick, and you just upload it, and then save and return, and then you go on to the next one. Now, you can request comments individually as you put them in one by one, or you, like say tonight, you're going to put 3 in. You can wait and put all 3 of them in, then click on request comments, and it will let you at that point choose which ones you want to request comments on. Say I did the first 3. I can click the 3 of them and then continue. And then now I've asked that they fix this part, TaskStream fix this part where all you have to do is it will automatically come to me. If not, if you get this box, it's okay. Select me, and you can select Dr. Stedman. He's here, and I'm here. There we are. You can select both of us, or if it doesn't give you the opportunity to select, it means it's coming directly to me, which is fine. But you can either request comments on each individual one that you put in, or if you're putting in a group, you can wait. We have you accommodated either way. So either way that you want to do that will be fine. And this is just for your proofs now. Pictures, screenshots, might be a document, might be a PDF. Whatever you have that's proof of that communication or change management competency, you drop it in your folio. And by the end of the semester, just like with the competencies in the AppSell and the AppTell, you have to have a proof of all 21 that you wrote us about this semester. You have to have a proof of all 21. Now, this box that says digital learning competencies, you do not have to put anything in there. Those are embedded in the first 21. And then there's where you upload your internship log for comments at the end of the semester once you have your 80 hours on it. Do not submit your internship log for evaluation. Only submit, and do not submit anything on this page for evaluation until it's done. What I mean is, you've got 3 rounds of competencies to do in the 3 semesters you're in the program. You will only request comments until you have all 63 of them in there, and then you will submit it. And you will not submit internship log until you have all 3 logs from each semester that has at least 80 hours on them. Until then, you will request comments. Now, if you submit it, I'll just send it back for revision, so it won't be a big deal, but don't make me have to do that. So just, put it in there and request comments. Let me see. I've got a question. All right. The question is, will you both continue on with us into the next semester, or will we have different ones? I'll be with you, or Dr. Stedman, or both. One of us will be with you, and it might be both of us with you, but definitely one of us will stay with you. And this is not a popularity contest. You don't get to pick him. I know you like him better than me.
Oh.
But yes, one of us or both of us will be with you always. We will not let you go. That's a bad thing. It's better than a good thing, I suspect. But, we'll be with you. So don't worry about that part. All right. So that's the competency folio. That's the DRF portfolio. We've talked about pacing, where you should be. Please be reminded that Dr. Stedman is the pacing guru, and he'll be after you on that. What's expected in task 5. All right, so now, how to put your task, your 1 through 5 together. So let me go to that one quickly. Let me move this back out of the way. Let's see if I can open you one up here. All right, so here it is. All right. So what you should see is that the references is a compiled list. They go at the end. Do not have references when you put them all together. If you have like background and description of the setting and you know, it fits in more than one place, take the second one out. But what you're going to do is at the end of each section where you have references or appendices, you will take them out and move them to the end. And if you labeled them like appendices 1, 2, and 3 for task A, for task 1, and then you started with 1, 2, and 3 in task 2, obviously you'll have to renumber them, you know, 1 through whatever. Don't have repeated appendices 1. But the only thing that you can get wrong here is leaving your references or your appendices in the body of your paper. That violates APA rules. Move them to the end, and you'll need to re-alphabetize your reference list so that when we start reading your references, if you've got 15, that they start with A and end with Z, not just cut and paste the ones from each section so that you go A through Z on task A, then A through Z on task 2. No, the comprehensive list should be A through Z. And so that's the only thing you really have to make sure you do when you compile them is move your appendices and your references to the end and eliminate any repeated sections like tool profile or background description of the setting, something like that. If you've got that in more than one, just make sure it's only seen one time. But other than that, you can't go wrong. All right.
Dr. Lamb, you and I were talking yesterday, I think, and what you've done, you've written, it's like writing 5 different chapters of a book. Now you're going to put the book together.
That's correct.
You don't want every chapter, the second chapter, to repeat what you said in the first chapter.
That's
so
correct.
When you read the whole APSL, when you read it from 1 to 5, it should be seamless reading until you get to the end of it. So you're just putting everything that you've done together, as Dr. Lamb has said.
Mm-hmm. Are only some competencies applicable to the APSL? Nope. You know, these competencies are you'll find them in most all of your evidence artifacts. They're not. We just want you to write certain ones so that write certain competencies with certain ones because they're the most evident. They're the easiest ones to find in those. 8 required, yes. List 8. So we got to have 12. So let me go quickly to. All right.
So Dr. Lamb, when you submit, remember your task 5 does not go through peer review. It does not. You don't have a video conference, Zoom conference over that. Now, if y'all choose to as a group to do those things, that's left up to you. But I'm not looking for anything but. So when you send it to me, I'm going to look for the 8 required and the 4 you choose. That's what I'm going to look for when I assess your task 5.
Right. Right here it is in the scale handbook. Required 601 males competencies. Male 601 competencies. You can't miss it. It's right here. There's the 8 you have to have right there. And you get to pick 4 more to go with those 8. Let's see. All right. And here are the ones that are in the AppTel. And if you've already done them in the AppCell, you don't have to repeat them, but you have to make sure that you do these. And so I would take and just do a little cross-off list of the ones from the AppCell and the AppTel figure out which 4 are not covered, and that's the 4 I would add to do to my 8 for the first semester. That way you don't repeat any. Pretty simple process there. Now, I've already given you 2 documents that tell you pretty much where you can find your competency proofs from your 80 hours of clinical activities and from all these evidence artifacts. Let's go back and look at those documents right quick. Okay. Let me close some of this stuff. Hey, there's one I'm looking for. I've already given you this document. And so what it tells you is from having done the app cell, when you did these things and you have proof that you did these things, they will address these competencies. 1 is communication, 3 is conflict management, and etc. I've already mapped it for you. These are things you've already done. Take it down, work that I did, and you'll know exactly where you can find these things and what competencies by doing that. I gave you that for your evidence artifacts, and also I did the same thing for when you did your activities. When you're doing your activities in your clinical hours at your school, when you do one of these things and you have a proof that you did it, that this is the competency that matches. What we would like for you to do this semester is to simply pull these competencies out of the app cell and the app tel, if all possible. If you can't think of something that you did in the app tel or app cell that fits one of the 21 competencies, then come over here to this list. We want it to be as simple as possible during this first semester that you pull these things and that you have your proofs for them. So that's how you do that. Let me answer some questions right quick. For week 7 submission, the task should be separated, then put back together for the final product. That's up to Dr. Stedman. I don't mind if it's all together for my part.
Okay, say that again, Dr. Lamb.
The question is for the week 7 submission, should the tasks be separated and then put back together for the final product? And for me, no.
No.
Write it in a template where I see everything you've done.
Yeah, that is fine. That is fine, yes.
Habit of getting it all together and putting everything down at the end.
I mean,
see, that's the way.
It's what they got to do anyway, so go ahead and do it.
Yeah, go ahead. See, I would write these things in my template and you know, and then would build my references and appendices as I went. So when I got to the end, I wouldn't have to do any, too much stuff in terms of realigning and taking stuff out and copying and pasting. I just have it all there. And it's really easy that way. So, but that's up to you. If you like just writing separate papers and put them together at the end, whichever way that makes the most sense to you is the way that's best. But remember, we've given you these documents to help you find where your competencies are. I've given an example of how you want them to be written. You simply copy and paste them into competency analysis once you've written them in task 5 of the app tel and task 4 of the app cell. You simply go back to your competency folio and upload the proof of the things that you said you did. Quick and easy.
Dr. Lamb.
Shouldn't be a problem. Yes.
I saw a question, and I know where in Blackboard, there is a place where they're supposed to submit when task 1 is completely finished. They're supposed to submit it to Blackboard, and then there's a place for them to submit task 2 or task 3. I saw the question: are they to submit the same document 5 times with all 5 pieces? They're not at that place yet, so I would say you go ahead, and if you're through with task 1, go ahead in Blackboard and submit task 1 where it's supposed to go.
Now we're talking about in your 601 shell.
Right.
And what you're doing is you're submitting that to him, and that's why he does pacing, because he has to grade you in your class for staying on the pacing guide. Remember, part of your grade in your class is that you stay on your pacing guide, and you put your work into Blackboard. You're given a grade for the activities that you do in your class, but you're also given a grade for the work that you do in your portfolio, staying on your pacing guide. So that's what that is. So as soon as you have task 1 done, you can go to assignment Dropbox, in the 601 shell, drop it in there. He's going to grade it, and you're good to go.
And any of them that you've completed and you know you're through with, and Dr. Lamb and I have looked at it and I'm fine with it, you can go ahead and take care of that. I don't care.
You can drop it in Blackboard at any time. These are called hybrid courses, and you, part of what you get your grade in your course for is your evidence artifact work. You got to remember that. It's not a separate thing. That's why we pair as instructors and coaches. That's why we pair. You know, I'm responsible for your licensure, submitting all this stuff to the state and getting you a license. But Dr. Stedman he's responsible to the accreditors to make sure that you've done this work and that you've learned the things you're supposed to. You know, he has to keep you on the pacing. I have to make sure that you build a portfolio that I can submit at the end of your program and get you a license. That's what I'm doing. Remember, you're in a dual program. And so you have to do your coursework and you have to do your licensure. He's in charge of coursework. I'm in charge of licensure. That means he's in charge of pacing. I'm in charge of content. We used to try to have one person do it all, and they all quit. They said, there's no way that 2 people can do, you know, 1 person can do this. It takes 2 people to do this. Because I have a lot of stuff that you don't see behind the scenes, and he has a lot of stuff you don't see behind the scenes that we have to do with all the work and the things that you're doing. And so it's a 2-person job to, you know, to get both your coursework done for the accreditors and your licensure done for DPI, so you can get your license. It's a unique program. Nobody else runs a program like this where you can in a year get through your coursework and get your license in a year. Most places it's taken 2 to 3 years. So it's very intense. It's a lot of work, and that's why you got 2 of us with you, because we each have a specific task that we have to do. But I am more than pleased with your progress. Not only do I work with Dr. Stedman, I'm in charge of all of these programs, and so I'm so excited. I feel good and I feel bad. Elizabeth has just submitted her dispositions. I feel good and I feel bad about y'all. I feel good that because Dr. Stedman and I have you, that you're doing so well, but I feel bad as the overall supervisor that everybody else isn't doing as well as y'all. And so I'm having to go the whip on everybody else's cohorts to get them caught up to y'all. You know, we're way out in front, but we're right on. So that's where we are. So Elizabeth has submitted her School of Ed dispositions. I'll go in as soon as we get off the air, and I'll do the other half of those. And then when she goes back to task stream, she can move from her work page over to her scores results page, and she will see the results of the evaluation that I've done for her. So please remember, when you're using your DRF, and let me remind you, there are tabs for work page, and that's where you go and submit all your work is on the work page. That's what I was on earlier. When you submit something, if you've asked for comments, you have to go to the comments page. And if you've submitted something for evaluation like dispositions, you have to go to the scores results page. and there's a tab for you to switch between those pages once you get inside your DRF portfolio. Yeah. Is that what I submitted you that day? Yes, that's to Emily. That's yes to your question. All right, so let me go back, new share. You notice when I went out of Blackboard, I closed it. You do not want to leave Blackboard open when you go out. Task Stream, when you go out of Task Stream, if you're only going to be out for a minute, close it and come back in. And there's a reason why. If it hangs, and it's bad to hang, if it times out, if something happens and you don't get back to it as quick as you thought you were going to get back to it, and it times you out, you have to wait 6 hours to go back in. Let me say that again. If Task Stream times you out because you've been out of it too long and you left it open, you have to wait 6 hours to go back in. It won't let you back in. So don't email me. My password, username and password don't work anymore. Well, they will in 6 hours. All right, so when you go to your fall, I'm going to go back to author. So when we go to fall 17 add-on, and when you open up your DRF, by default, it's going to open on your work page right here. When you submit something and you request comments, you have to go to the comments page to see those comments, and there'll be a little red text down here below it that says new comments. And once you submit something like Elizabeth did, you'll have to go to scores results page, and you can see her School of Ed dispositions. It will have the score right here when I grade it. And so if you open it up and you tell me I can't load my work, my stuff's gone, what's happened? Just go back over and click on the work button, and it'll start you back where you were.
Dr. Lamb, they need to be reminded that I do not grade anything in Task Stream.
That's
Only
correct.
Dr. Lamb.
That's correct. That's what I was talking about. We both have roles outside of what you see. Dr. Stedman does everything in Blackboard. He grades your work and does all that there. I have to have it here because I have to grade it here, or have one of the evaluators grade your evidence artifacts. I'll grade everything else. I'll have a third person that works with me to do your evaluation as for inter-rater reliability. We'll have an independent person come in and view your work to make sure that you got it all right. Don't worry, we never had anybody that didn't make it through. But we will, for your 6 evidence artifacts, we will bring in an independent person who doesn't know you, never worked with you, doesn't know who you are, and they will score your work. Now, I will oversee that scoring, and if there's a major problem with it that we let slip through, you will have the opportunity to go in. Sometimes what happens, and 99.9% of the time, let me see what this chat is right here. There is no way to get from Task Stream to Blackboard. They are not linked. You do not submit them to us until you know we're ready. That's right. You don't submit them until they're ready.
And we're going to tell them when they're ready.
Now, 99.9% of the time, when one of our students' document gets sent back for revision, there is a reason why, and usually is you submitted the wrong document. I'll just be honest with you. You submitted an earlier version or the wrong version that was incomplete. Usually, we have never had one to submit a document that got sent back because it wasn't good enough. Never had it to happen. Now, I've had a few, but, I forgot that was the rough draft, or, that one only had 3 of the 5 tasks in it, and it got sent back for revision. I said that to say this. Be careful when you go into load. Make sure you're uploading that final, complete, ready-to-go version, not an earlier version, and make sure it's all there. If one of your documents is a little bit wonky, don't try to upload it. Find one that works better. I mean, you know what I'm talking about. Sometimes you have a document that, you know, the graphs and the charts go kind of crazy on you. Don't submit that one because it'll get sent back. So make sure that you have a good, clean copy of your final draft of all 5 tasks, and it's in the right format before you put it in TaskStream. Otherwise, they'll send it back. And we've never had one sent back because it wasn't good enough. It was the wrong version. But make sure you get the right version in there. All right, Corey wants to know, Dr. Stedman, would you please clarify if Task 5 is due this week in discussion board as well as Task 4 in the assignment Dropbox?
Okay, according to the timeline, it is due to the assignment Dropbox. However, you know, they can send it to me to review and discussion board as many times as they want to. But Task 5 is actually due by Sunday night. You should be through with all 5 tasks by Sunday night at 9 o'clock. If there is an issue, then somebody needs to communicate with me personally, and I'll say what we can do. But to keep on the pacing, that was the whole purpose behind that. And again, remember, Dr. Lamb has already said, if you spend more than 2 hours putting Task 5 together, then you're spending too much time.
And you didn't do the work.
Right.
I mean, it should just roll right out if you did the work. You'll know exactly what you did to meet those competencies. All right. And those need to be submitted to Dropbox Sunday, and I guess the answer to that is yes. Now, please remember that you also have an XM shell, and if you don't email me, and I'll put you on, I'll add you. I have an XM shell in Blackboard. It's a shared shell that all the coaches and all the students use my shell. And you can go in when you submit things for there in a Dropbox there, they come directly to me, or if you put them in discussion board where everybody can see them, they come directly to me. I grade those every day and give you content advice or give you feedback on your content there. So you've got Dr. Stedman, who's great, but if you need extra confirmation, I have a Blackboard shell. Even though I do TaskStream, I have a Blackboard shell as well, and you can get my opinion.
And a few people have used that, but I keep checking it every day. Enough of you are not using Dr. Lamb for that purpose, and you can, I would love for you to, and sometimes I will say, send that to Dr. Lamb. I'll remember to do that, but you should automatically send it to him to get his opinion on things as well.
And hopefully we're going to wing you here. We talked about that earlier today. We're going to wing you here. We're not going to wear you out all the time like this and sending you emails and coming online every week. We're going to start to wing you. And so, Dr. Stedman's going to talk about that. We're not going to do a Zoom next week, and then we've got one planned down the road for the 23rd of the month, and then we may not have but one or two more. We're going to try to wean you in terms of that. And also, I want you to be able to use that intern shell all you want but hopefully we'll kind of wean you from that as well, that you'll trust Dr. Stedman and move on. And once you build your confidence and you know what you're doing, this is going to go a whole lot faster and a lot easier every semester. It won't take as long. You'll catch the rhythm here, and you won't be sitting around wondering, is my work right or not? You'll know if it's right or not, and you'll know when you did a little or you'll know when you did a lot. And so, not to be ugly, or I'm not being, not trying to, it's not a derogatory term when I say we're trying to wean you. That's a good thing. That's mostly like parents, shooing their kids off to college and becoming empty nesters. You gotta let it move on. Well, that's what we're trying to do here. We don't want to hold you we want to hold you tight enough that you don't fall, but we don't want to hold you so tight that you can't get out and fly on your own. So you're gonna see a conscious effort on our part as we move to the AppTel, for you to take more of a role in, I know what to do, or I'm gonna go this way and I'm gonna do this thing. We've held you really tightly during the AppTel, really tightly. We've held you really tightly, but we're gonna let you start spreading your wings and go once we hit the AppTel. and that's by design. It's not that we don't love you anymore or don't have time for you, but we can't expect you to grow into executive leaders if we're always telling you exactly what and when to do. All right. Emily said something about when she submitted hers to Michelle, it went to Robertson, it went to Mark, my buddy Mark. He goes in and gives comments as well as I do. I have other people that go in there. That's what I'm talking about. I have inter-rater reliability. I like as many eyes on work as possible. Dr. Robertson is great friends of Dr. Stedman and I, and we ask him to give him a look. He teaches 605, our final cohort. He teaches that. He also coaches. He has a group that he coaches with Dr. Malia Neal. So we have more than one person looking at these things all the way before they go for state grading at the end. We can't get enough eyes on them. We won't, that doesn't hold you up any. But we like for other people to read. That's why our folks don't have a problem. Is we're not ashamed for people to see what our folks are doing or get help or ask for help or ask for somebody else to put their eyes on our students' work. This is not about us or ego or any of that. It's about we want to make sure that when you submit your work for state grading at the end, that it just sails through. That we don't even hear a hiccup. And that's the whole idea. Yeah, he told me to resubmit it to me instead. He didn't have to do that. It will always be there. I can find them. If you submit them, I can find them. He can't, but I can. So he would have to be resubmitted for him. It doesn't have to be resubmitted for me since I'm a Blackboard administrator. I can find it. Anything you submit to Blackboard, I can find it. So don't worry about that. All right. We've gone 45 minutes. That's all the wind I've got tonight.
Okay. Dr. Lamb, should they have the APSL ready for final submission with everything put together into one final document?
All right. We're finishing up week 7 right now.
Right.
All right. And so.
Well, let me say, according to the pacing, they're supposed to submit week 9 beginning October 30th. Sometime during that week is what it is indicating. That's when they should. That's the final submission.
Yeah, it can't be any later than that. I would prefer it to be the day that we meet with them again on the 23rd. I was hoping that they could have it, but now we'll give you somewhere between the 23rd and the 30th. We've got to have your final document, not just task 5, but the final comprehensive document is due sometime, as Dr. Stedman said. When he said the 30th, that means that's the last day. We got to have it somewhere that week that runs from the 23rd to the 30th. We got to have it that week. If we're going to stay on any kind of pacing guide, we've got to have it by that week. Anytime after the 23rd and before the 30th.
And
where
Emily said where?
It goes in task stream.
And that will go to Dr. Lamb, not to me.
You'll open up task stream. You will go to fall 17. Let me move this out of the way. Fall 17. Come on. Fall 17 add-on. You'll simply click on it. Go to the app cell. Click on it. You're on your work page. Click on attachment.
You work very hard.
Upload. Upload from computer. Add files. And it will go to your file manager, and if you got it on a disk, you just click on your disk. If you got it on the hard drive of your laptop, you click on it, whichever one. You pick one like this one right here from Rhonda. Open. And there it is. And then when you get that one done, I got to move that out of the way. Save and return. Tells me to remember to submit my work. And there it is right there for the app cell. I submit my work. Are you sure? Yep. And it be submitted. And when you go to your scores results page, you will see, mine won't show that. You will see that it will say work submitted. And so you'll know that you have submitted your work. It's just that easy. That's all you have to do in TaskStream is just put it in there. Repository for your 6 evidence artifacts. Do not request comments on your 6 evidence artifacts. This is just a place where you put them to get graded. I asked him to turn the request comments button off for the 6 evidence artifacts, and Seth said he couldn't do that. If we, so that you can request comments on your competency folio, we have to leave that in here for this one as well. The button's linked to you, not just the different folios. Okay. So that's how you go and put it in there. Now, if you can get in there before the 23rd, you go.
Yes. Emily, you asked the question. Yes, that's where you put 1 through 5 into one complete document for the final evaluation. That's where it goes.
Yep.
And most of you are very, very close to that. 1 through 4 for most of you I've told you there's nothing else that I can suggest that you do. So it's a matter of completing 5, which shouldn't take you that long, putting that in there, and then going back and putting all of it together. So most of you are just about there.
All right. Yeah, Tracy wants to know if this is after you have the stamp of approval. Yeah. Yeah, we got to tell you it's ready to go. All right. And then here's the last thing. Dr. Stedman shared this with you last week. Here is your template for the AppTel. Hopefully, this will be the last one of these that you will see. Unless you twist my arm, this is part of the weaning process is you'll have to build your own for the OMA.
But that's another semester.
Yeah, that's next semester. You'll have to build your own, but it's, if I can do it, you can do it. So that's how that works. Let's see now. Hopefully, can y'all see my TaskStream screen?
Yes, I can see it. No. You're showing evidence number 2 is what you're showing.
All right, good.
Yes.
All right, so let me quickly, while I still got you on the air, I'm doing something I don't need for y'all to see right quick. All right.
While Dr. Lamb is doing that, one of the reasons that we're not doing a scheduled Zoom next week, this gives you an opportunity to bring closure to the APSL, but it also gives you an opportunity to begin looking at the AppTel. If y'all want to come together as a group and kind of pick each other's brains, you've got an opportunity to do that. So I want you to take leadership roles and to work with each other and to become comfortable with, coming up with a plan for completing the AppTel. You're actually, if you are at that place next week, you are ahead of the game, and that's what we want.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
All right.
Emily needs to ask a question. Unmute Emily and ask the question. You're muted. Go ahead.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. So the AppCell, the final version that we submit to TaskStream, you have to tell us that we can submit it, right? I know that. But it's 1 through 5. We just put 1 through 5 together and submit it, or we go back and like you said, make sure it flows and don't repeat and blah, 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 blah. I'm not getting that part of it.
Dr. Lamb, go ahead. I'll let you say what you need to say.
Once you have it all together, you're going to submit to Dr. Stedman, and he's going to tell you yes or no, and you're going to put it in my intern sheet, and I'm going to tell you yes or no.
Okay.
So we would submit to Stedman first, like as a whole page of.
Yes.
You're gonna put it in the Dropbox for him in Blackboard, and he's gonna grade it, and he's gonna
say
tell you
yay
it
or
looks
nay.
good to me, and he's gonna give you a grade on it. And then when he says, yeah, it's good to go, you're gonna put it in my intern shell, and I'm gonna say, yep, it's ready for state grading. And then there's no more comments after that.
So what if it's not good to go when we submit it to Stedman?
He'll tell you.
Okay.
Or then if he says yes and I say no, then I'll tell you, and we'll tell
Lori,
you.
be quiet.
And remember all of you, remember when you send it to me, you can also send it to your, to Dr. Lamb at the same time in Blackboard. Remember, as your coach, he can look at anything at any time as well.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, you're going to be fine, Emily.
And Rory was laughing at me, so I told him to hush.
Oh.
I thought that showed good judgment on his part. You put that down as a judgment competency.
Thanks for all the confidence, Lamb.
I thought that showed extremely good judgment. All right, so let's look right quick if y'all can see my screen. Let's see what we've got here. Now I'm on the wrong group here. Let me go back, get out of the way. That's spring. Okay, I need to go to fall. Fall 17 add-on. So if Michelle and Elizabeth are still with us, if they will go to their scores results page, they will see that when I was off the air for a minute there, I went ahead and did my half of their SOE dispositions. And so if we go in and we look at them, Michelle, if you will look right here, Michelle, get that out of the way. She's met her school dispositions for her semester, for her male 601 semester. She has that done, and so has Elizabeth. And there it is. And they can confirm that by going to their task stream DRF portfolio, click on their scores results page, and there it will be. So we know that they are linked to me and that everything works in task stream. And they just went in and did filled out a form and submitted it, and it works. It's just that easy. It's not hard to do. Upload a document just like I did. Task stream is really easy and quick. All the work comes before task stream. Task stream is just a repository for your electronic portfolio for the state of North Carolina. It's quick and easy. The hard work comes in Blackboard. Okay, so there's Michelle. See, I got a notification. If you can see my phone, I have Blackboard link and task stream link to my phone. And every time you do something, I know exactly what you did, and I know to go back in and to go in and grade what you did or comment on what you did. I also have it fixed on my phone so that I have those emails forwarded to a private server so I can open them up on my phone. Gardner Webb won't let you do that through their emails. So that's a trick that you might learn as well. If you will forward your emails and notifications in TaskStream from your Gardner Webb email to like a Gmail or a Yahoo mail, you can go through those notifications and open up your TaskStream account. There's also a Blackboard app. I think Dr. Tyndall has that. Henry, I think he has that. There's also a Blackboard app where you can do Blackboard on your phone. So Blackboard is where a lot of your work goes on, but TaskStream is just basically upload stuff for evaluation or comments. And so you really don't need an app to do that. You can just forward your email and it'll open right up on your phone anyway. If you open it up through Yahoo or Gmail, it'll just open right up. Your account will open up on your phone. You don't have to even have a separate app for that. All right. We got through 3 minutes early. I'll turn it back over to you.
Okay, there's nothing else. I mean, you know what you've got to do. If you have questions, you communicate with me like you've always been communicating with me. You can communicate with Dr. Lamb, but you're doing a great job. And again, want to emphasize, I don't want you to feel like you can't ask questions, but we want you to begin trying to think more independently and working through some things. You are doing a good job. I still think that I've got the AIG group, Dr. Lamb. He's laughing at you, Emily.
They've got letters, but I'm not sure it's AIG.
Okay.
That's why I do what I do during the day.
There might be an E or some other vowels in there.
Okay. But thank you guys. We'll be in touch. I'll send
y'all. Thank you for joining us tonight. Enjoy.
Thank you, Dr. Lamb.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.